EA's Star Wars Battlefront has almost reached the 1-year mark, and its latest piece of downloadable content shows a remarkable amount of growth. The Death Star DLC is the third of 4 expansion packs included with the Battlefront Season Pass, and as the name may suggest, it gives players new maps and content based around the iconic battle station from the original Star Wars film. The interior of the Death Star is the perfect place to play some close quarters games of Battlefront's Team Deathmatch mode, called Blast. It's beautifully recreated with lots of little touches that will make you just want to explore the space. The maze of halls and pneumatic doors provides players with opportunities to ambush or be ambushed. It's a fast-paced and claustrophobic environment, a great addition to Battlefront's other, more wide-open maps. Other new arenas of play are available in the Death Star DLC's new mode, called Battle Station. This is a large-scale battle in and around the Death Star, divided into 3 distinct parts. In the first, players are given what many have been asking for since the game was first released: space battles. This has the rebels take to their X and A wings, while the Imperials jump in their TIEs and TIE interceptors to accomplish pretty straightforward objectives. The rebels aim to destroy key subsystems of an orbiting Star Destroyer while making their way through waves of Imperial fighters. On the other side, the Imperials just need to stall the rebels until time runs out. If the Empire wins, the mode ends there with an Imperial victory. But if the rebels take down the destroyer, then everyone moves on to the second stage. The second stage takes players into boots-on-the-ground combat inside the Death Star itself, as the rebels work to locate and free R2-D2, while the Imperials try to stop them. Just like the Blast mode, this map is beautifully made and gives players several paths to attack or defend. Heroes can be spawned here, including the 2 new characters, which I'll touch on in a moment. Once again, if the rebels are victorious, the whole lobby moves on to the third and final stage, while an Imperial victory ends the game. Assuming the rebels successfully rescued their droid, the game moves on to the third section as players get back into their starfighters to take part in one of the most thrilling moments in Star Wars: the Trench Run. 3 rebels at a time will be designated to make the run and will attempt to reach checkpoints through the winding trenches of the Death Star while the Imperial pilots try to shoot them down. If all the checkpoints are reached, the rebels will end up at the vulnerable exhaust port and finish off the Death Star. As with the other stages, the Imperials are simply trying to delay the rebels enough to run down the clock. This is the most epic fighter mode yet. The combat will take you high up and above the Death Star and then back down into the belly of the trenches and tunnels. Players are rewarded for skillful flying as they navigate obstacles to pursue or evade enemies through narrow corridors. You can even pick up a token to fly as either Luke Skywalker or Darth Vader. This is really where a lot of the payoff for the new mode comes in, which is why it's a bit unfortunate that, as an Imperial, your team has to lose the first 2 stages for you to be able to play it. Last but definitely not least, the new heroes. With the Death Star DLC, players can now take a turn as either Han Solo's furry partner Chewbacca, or as the feared Trandoshan bounty hunter known as Bosk. Both of these heroes are incredibly strong and have a host of unique abilities, such as Bosk's ability to gain infrared vision, or Chewbacca's roar, which will provide a boost to nearby allies. Both heroes are fun to play and a welcome addition to the game's growing roster. Overall, the Death Star DLC adds some really fun aspects to the game. It's not exactly overflowing with new content, but what is there is very well done. The maps are beautiful and well balanced. The new game mode offers a change of pace, and the heroes are another fun option to choose. There are a couple negatives though. Loading times across the board have increased pretty significantly, and playing Battle Station as an Imperial can feel a little unrewarding since doing well means you might only get to see 1 or 2 stages. And despite how good everything else looks, Chewbacca just looks like he's having the worst of bad hair days. The Death Star DLC earns a recommendation for anyone who already loves the game and wants to get a little bit more out of it, and a final score of 3.5 out of 5.